the intensity of with Rose back on the court.
There's no doubting that, Kevin. I mean, even the
guys, we've seen a confident-looking Bulls team out there.
Really, it's always a positive when you can get some.
Nicholson is the 4 with Vucevic at the 5. And it's Fournier in at the small forward. Well, it was a slow start to his rookie year for Payton, but he came along very strong. And Oladipo kicks to Payton. Fournier for 3. Chicago grabs the miss. This game coming after a loss against the Pistons.
Only shooting percentage is through the roof. You can't win if your defense isn't better than that.
Dunleavy's check in for Justin Holiday. Aaron Gordon, he's checking in for Orlando.
Really impressed with the way Jimmy Butler last season made big strides in his game, going from a supporting role player to someone you can build your team around.
Great play and really took everything to the next level.
The Bulls making a switch here. Gibson's checked in. Brandon Jennings, he's checked in for the Magic. We're closing in on 2 minutes played here in the second quarter. Orlando moving the ball around. And that one's good. 6 points for Victor Oladipo.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Purposeful passing it is, partner. Their last 10 points have all come off assists.
That's good.
And the interior D is really starting to be exposed here. How many layups have they gotten today?
To the inside, Gibson with the steal. Near the three-point line, it's Dunleavy. It's good. This time the assist from Rose. Dunleavy's got 5 now.
Clearly, they've been the hotter team here in the first half.
Well, they've been grit and grind, working for those high percentage shots, and quite honestly, it's paid off for them.
Here's Gibson, goes back up, and the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for Chicago.
Boy, the three-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
And also, how about the fact defensively they're getting that backboard and getting out in transition, especially in this first half.
Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. No good from Gasol.
And just because you can make it from outside doesn't mean you need to live there.
Not that far out anyway, Greg. I mean, he can work for a better shot than that.
And guys, Brandon Jennings last season looked like he was finally becoming more efficient. He shot at the upper range of his career field goal percentage from 3 and the free throw line. And then suddenly the Achilles ended his season at 41 games played. Really unfortunate.
Getting back to Jennings last season really did start out as one of his best. Not just the improvement, Clark, in accuracy. His turnovers per game were at a career low.
Yeah, that's what we have to watch out for with Jennings. I mean, he's still only 26 years old, Kevin. Now, plenty of time to continue to refine and hone his game. I think his best basketball is in front of him.
Stolen by Rose. Gasol dishes to Butler. Here's Rose. Fournier pulls it down. Fournier's got his 3rd rebound tonight. And Oladipo, here we go.
Their game plan needs to change if they're going to get out of this hole because he is just not there offensively.
Back to Butler. Passes it to Dunleavy. And it's blocked by Gordon.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. Doug McDermott, he's checked in for the Bulls. And the Magic making a change here as well. Napier's checked in. Picked by Vucevic. And the foul on Derrick Rose. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
And now only 1 away from being in the penalty.
Yep, the next one puts them on the line, so they've got to be careful the rest of the way.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Joakim Noah's checked in for Gibson. Mirotic comes in for Mike Dunleavy. Morris checked in for Jimmy Butler. And Brooks subbed in for Derrick Rose. Well, Clark, you follow international basketball so much, and Mario Hezonja isn't a new name to you.
No, it's not, but I'm actually looking forward to seeing him do things in the NBA. Only played sparingly up until now, but the talent and skills he possesses, they get your attention.
Well, Hezonja has been playing as a pro since his 14th birthday.
Yeah, it happens that way in Europe.
The Magic trail by 13. Good, nice play there from Napier.
And he can time his passes so perfectly. Wow, what an assist.
Moore left side to the paint. Here's McDermott, and he floats in for the easy two. Credit the assist on that one.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
A minute 42 left to play here in the half. The Bulls leading by 13. Noah, the pass to Brooks. Now the feed to Noah. Brooks kicks it to Noah. Back to Brooks. And the shot no good, a bit short. For Orlando, they've gone 4 of 8 so far here in the second quarter. Napier passes to Gordon. Good, and it's Napier with the assist that time. 6 points for Aaron Gordon. The Bulls have gone 7 of 16, shooting just under 50% here in the second quarter. So he gets the whistle, contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
And guys, what a strange rookie campaign for Dougie McBuckets. I mean, he entered the draft as a polished sharpshooter. The Bulls traded up in the first round to get him, and he ended up playing 9 minutes a game over the course of last season.
Nicholson's checked in for Gordon. Watson dishes to Nicholson. Misses in close. Chicago's got nothing but zeros from long range in the second quarter. 0 of 4. The Bulls keep it alive. Here's Noah. And he banks in the layup. And the Bulls lead by 15.
And, Kevin, they've dialed up their activity this quarter. We're seeing them convert a lot of those second chance opportunities.
Well, the hustle and the efforts, the persistence, all of that paying off in a big way. That's something that makes a coach smile.
And on the topic of Doug McDermott, one of the most decorated college players in recent history, and Clark, you called a lot of his games.
Yeah, enjoyed watching him play, and I still think he has a bright future. Just never found any real rhythm. Averaged only 3 points a game, but he didn't get much playing time, so look for him to bounce back in the years going forward.
Payton kicks to Nicholson. Dishes it to Napier. Got a piece of it.
Where he made 3 of his 3-point attempts.
And there's the foul. It'll go on Aaron Brooks. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. Orlando shooting their 7th and 8th attempts at the foul line tonight, and he sinks the 2nd. Here's Brooks. 9-point game his last outing. Outside Holiday. And we are not going to halftime just yet. Officials signaling they are going to review the tape.
And they're making sure on this one, even though it may not matter in the grand scheme, but the replay process is faster than ever. You know, why not?
Yeah, the replay center in Secaucus is providing the officials with the necessary footage to make the call. We're seeing what they're seeing with the best possible angles.
And they've seen enough. The basket will not count. The quarter has come to an end before the shot.
Still important to have a second look at it, Kevin. I mean, the technology's available, so you might as well use it.
Absolutely. And so a pretty lot.
Well, Pau, tell us what have been the key aspects to how this team is playing so far through the first 2 quarters.
Well, I just had to be aggressive from the beginning. Take the shots over there. Move the ball. We're being unselfish.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And what an amazing performance, the hometown Chicago holding the upper hand after the first 2 quarters. They're leading by 16. Just about time for the 3rd quarter to get underway, and we'll see.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. Aaron Brooks with a strong contribution so far in this one.
And the thing I noticed most in that first half was his offense. He was not wasteful with his opportunities and also did a great job of converting with the chances he had.
I agree with you, Greg. Judicious shot selection. All of his looks were good looks.
Gibson is the 4 with Gasol at the 5. Butler teams with Dunleavy on the perimeter. And it's Rose in at point. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Down low. And it's out of bounds to the Magic as Orlando will retain possession.
Oh, nice play there to get a hand on that pass and tip it out of bounds.
Just a whisker away from coming up with the steal there.
And there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
That's his 3rd personal foul.
Here's Oladipo. Poked away. Kicks it out to Jennings. Feeds it to Fournier. Tries to save it. And so it looks like the Magic will retain possession here.
Well, let's take a look at where Orlando ended up, Kevin, rank-wise in the league last year. 12th in steals, 12th in points off turnovers. And they were in the top half of the league in field goal percentage as a team. And part of that was due to the fact that they were a little inconsistent offensively.
And you know, Jimmy Butler, not one of the best wing defenders in the game, certainly has the toughness, athleticism, the instincts. Very difficult to score on. Good wing defender, but also very tough inside, too. He's got a lot of grit inside the lane.
He really does. One of the best two-way players in our league right now. I mean, he was a lockdown defender in college, and scouts thought he would be that way in the pros as well. And let's face it, they were right. He can take opposing 2s and 3s completely out of their rhythm.
The Magic trail by 21. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup.
Wow, that's a really smooth finish.
That's why we and they always love seeing him at the end of those breaks. He makes it look fun and easy.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. And guys, Brandon Jennings, some people love his chaotic game. Some can't stand it. One of the more polarizing talents in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't think he'll ever shoot for an efficient percentage or become a lockdown defender, Kevin. He's an offensive catalyst. He pushes the action, and he'll go on scoring binges, but I think he does more good than bad with his style of play.
Morris checked in for Jimmy Butler.
And talking about Brandon Jennings, he has an endless bag of tricks. Keeping the ball literally on a string, makes behind the back, no look, and off the backboard passes few players would even try. That unpredictability, though, can make him difficult to check and often forces defenders into positions from which they can't recover.
For 3, Fournier. It's hauled in by the Bulls. And this game, the first chance they've had to see Orlando.
And although they were the better team last year by overall record, this was a competitive matchup for them.
Guys, that's a valuable asset when you're trying to line up the W's.
Fournier's shot is off.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
Fires for 3. Moore with the bucket. Moore's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball.
These defenders are putting up very little resistance to the three-point shot.
And it's killing them. 4 of the last 5 makes coming from long range.
Crisp pass into the paint.
Kicks it to Rose. For 3, Gibson. Brandon Jennings comes up with a rebound.
He certainly didn't take advantage of the poor defense, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
I tell you what, I think he'd be happy if he can continue to get looks like that.
A wide open look here for Oladipo. Back to Gordon. Kicks it out to Jennings. Well, it was only a matter of time, but they finally get the bucket.
Yeah, I love the communication and the chemistry between those teammates.
Good ball movement here by the Bulls. Now Dunleavy. 8 points for him. Good on the three-point shot. Dunleavy's got 11 points.
Well, it was a defensive issue for the Magic. They had trouble stopping opponents last season, guys. I mean, didn't really challenge anything at their own rim, and that's really what made it tough for him. He sniffed out that board and then powered it back in.
Pure Mike Clark, so strong going back up with that one.
Playing to his strength, too, guys. That's what he's capable of. That's a dozen straight points coming off the triple.
Yeah, Greg, you know, they're having free reign from beyond the arc. The defense is just not there.
For the Magic, it's never a good sign to lead the league in getting dunked on. Last year that happened. They had that dubious honor, unfortunately.
You know, and in general, Kevin, I mean, the Magic were just poor on defense. I mean, they couldn't stop the three. Second worst mark in the league at defending it. And overall, the third worst field goal percentage against. So you know where their priorities were this past offseason.
So Chicago ends up going with a new group. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Nicholson's checked in for Aaron Gordon. Hezonja comes in for Fournier. Watson, he's checked in for Oladipo. And it's Elfrid Payton in for Brandon Jennings. Smith checked in for Vucevic. Payton against Brooks. Payton drives in. Watson, that's for two. And it comes off the front of the rim.
Not really sure what he was thinking about on that shot. That is not high IQ basketball.
Not at all. I mean, he shouldn't even have considered taking that shot. Just a poor choice there.
Add another triple to their second half total.
They came out of the break just dropping bombs and just not letting up at all.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. They want to keep rolling here following the win against the Thunder.
And the way they attacked the basket in that game was unreal. I mean, after a while, the defenders seemed to just wave their white flag.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's what will happen when the team continues to attack the basket and come away with layups. The defense tends to get demoralized and deflated.
And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
So far, they've turned in a fantastic performance from the three-point line. It's been a weapon all game.
And I also love the way they move the basketball. Their passing has been outstanding here in the second half. Very dangerous to leave a guy like that open. Lucky break there for the D.
Smith, the pass to Hezonja. Stolen by Noah. In transition, here come the Bulls. Holiday is running. Again, Holiday missing. Watson dishes to Payton. Now the pass to Smith. That's in, coming off an assist from Payton. Payton's got 5 assists tonight.
And he just big boyed it right there. The height advantage he's got down low, really difficult for them to defend.
Mirotic gets the bucket.
And when you've got a big man who can shoot from distance like that, what a huge advantage.
The Magic trail by 18. Pass to Nicholson. Fires from 14. Gets a hand on it. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. Smith's got his second bucket of the night.
And that's a really deft touch right there, guys.
And he just guided that ball back up and in. You know, Clark, just a fingertip touch on the ball.
Really well done.
And you know what? No need to catch it in a situation like that. He's got terrifically soft hands, and that finish doesn't allow the defense to react.
Now 8 seconds separating the two clocks. Nicholson's shot is off.
I'm a fan of anybody who defends that way. I mean, they weren't about to open the door and just allow him to cruise in for a layup.
Holiday with the three. That's tipped, but they recover it. Here's McDermott. Hits it from three-point range. McDermott's got 10 points in the game.
What are you going to do defensively? Such separation with the height advantage in that matchup.
And Watson with the basket on the assist by Payton. Payton's got 6 assists here tonight.
And I'll bet his percentage is pretty high from that
range. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth. Chicago leading by 17. So on the floor for Orlando. Gordon and Vucevic together in the post. Jennings out there with Victor Oladipo. And it's Fournier in at the small forward position. Gasol's gone 80% from the field. 4 of 5 shooting. Inside. Banked in off the glass.
Superb assist there. He played the role of the maestro on that one.
And for the Bulls, they're shooting 55% from the floor. They're feeling very confident offensively. And yes, sir, that one drops.
And how about the last 5 made shots have all been threes? The defense is just giving up a barrage.
Most teams get the message to cover shooters after 1 or 2 wide open looks at the three-point shot, but it seems like they have just not figured it out.
From deep three-point range, can't get it to go. So Orlando will take it the other way. And following this one, they'll take on the Hornets in New Orleans. That matchup falls in the middle game of this 3-game trip. Butler against Oladipo. The drive by Jennings. Here's Fournier. That falls. Great assist by 4 from the field since we started the final quarter of play. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Rose gets the 14-footer to fall. And the Bulls lead by 21.
No hesitation when he saw the space the D was giving him. That's 2.
Now a timeout called by Orlando. Derrick Rose has certainly piled up the awards for such a young player, starting with Rookie of the Year, with 111 first-place votes to only 5 for the runner-up. We know about his MVP, and that just shines out so brightly for him.
And how about he and Michael Jordan, the only MVPs in Chicago Bulls history.
Vucevic with the bucket. The Bulls leading by 19. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
I was able to listen in on what Scott Skiles was going over with his team. The strategy included running the offense through Gordon. Coach is looking for him to take on a lot of responsibility when they've got the ball, to be a leader at the offensive end. Likely the final major changes to their game plan as they try to make a late comeback here in the fourth. Kevin, back to you.
Thanks, Doris.
That's their 3rd straight make off an assist.
Great ball movement.
The Magic have gone 3 of 6 from the field so far in the 4th quarter. There's Jennings with the 3. They grab their own miss. And the basket by Gordon.
Boy, they're doing a nice job, a really good job of getting second chances here. And that's a great way to cut into that lead. I mean, nothing is more demoralizing to a defense than putbacks. And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
And I love the mentality that they've had. If a shot isn't there, they're not forcing it. They're moving it side to side until they finally get the one they want. And just way too early to tell how this year's group of rookies will turn out. But just from an early look, they seem to be a group that can contribute. They're definitely not going to be a class with a small impact on the league.
Rose gets to Gasol. Inside, here's Butler. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. 17 points for Butler.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
The last 5 trips they've had have ended with a great pass leading to a basket. They're really sharing the sugar.
With the 2015 draft class, the big thing is how many guys are polished coming into the NBA. It's a good blend of raw talent and certainly skill.
Yeah, I like the way you said that. This class will always be headlined by the 2 big men, but there's a lot of value throughout the rest of the draft, too.
Dedmon's shot is off.
Oh, excellent interior D to force the miss.
His defensive ability is a big factor. I mean, there's no denying that.
It's taken away by Smith. To the paint, here's Watson. It's hauled in by the Bulls.
2 minutes, 2
Outside Holiday. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
And Scott Skiles has been around the league as a coach for a while now, coming home to where he played most of his career here in Orlando. And at times, he can be a demanding coach.
Second free throw, no good. And, Greg, you're right. Skiles is what, we'd call a no-nonsense coach. Makes perfect sense when you think about the team that now Clarkie's going to go coach in Orlando.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was great at developing players, and that's exactly why the Orlando Magic hired him. Plays with an edge, but he develops players quite nicely, too.
Holds him accountable, doesn't he?
Yep, well said.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
I got to find something. You're right.
In the first half, they didn't shoot nearly as many threes. But finding themselves down now, they've started to cast up a lot more triples.
That's not the best of shot selection there. The defense definitely won that possession.
Yeah, I think in that case, you've got to go elsewhere with the ball. You just can't rise up over the top of him when he's on you.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout. A dominating performance for Chicago.
You're right, Steve. It was a standout performance across the board. They were just, at times, Clark, it seemed toying with.
Yeah, like watching a cat play with a mouse, Kevin, quite honestly. They were able to do more or less, whatever they wanted to do.
And every win important, and this one will go down as win number 3.
And this is a great way for them to kick off this season series. 2 more games ahead, and they've taken the mental advantage with this win tonight.
Greg, I don't think it'll play out quite that simply, though. The team coming out on the losing end of game 1 is just that much more motivated to get even in game 2 and 3. So I think the edge goes to the losing team.
And you have to look back at this and see the huge game it was for Taj Gibson. And with the way he came out energized on the defensive end in particular, getting a hand on a lot of shots, that really got them rolling. And that's his 4th, and no doubt he would have liked to have not gotten it this soon.
Chicago making a switch here. McDermott's checked in. And the second free throw, good. Bulls made the postseason for the 10th time in their last 11 seasons. Last year, they have become a fixture, Greg, in the playoffs in the East.
And how about last season, Kevin, had that interdivision matchup in their first round against the up-and-coming Bucks. Some hiccups for them in that series, but they were able to prevail. Yeah, that's a bad move there. Stops the clock and puts the other side on the line.
Yeah, inexcusable. I mean, he's got to know not to take any chances there. That's just a terrible foul.
Both free throws good from Watson. And it was great to watch C.J. Miles last season. Finally, Clark got some significant playing time.
Yeah, and took advantage of it. With the Pacers having Paul George on the sidelines due to injury until late in the season, they got a nice lift and contribution from C.J. Miles.
You know, they don't score on that shot, but they're going to be happy with those kinds of possessions.
He kicks it to Napier. Smith outside. He dishes it to Watson. Dedmon passes to Hazanya. Out left to the wing. Here's Napier. The wing jumper off target. And it's Moore penetrating off the mark. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. They won this game going away. They were the better basketball team, Clark, by far tonight.
No question about it, Kevin. They certainly gave their fans plenty to scream and holler about. This place was rocking. It was on fire. And it only got louder as that lead got bigger.
And a chance now to send you over to Doris.